And to give you a message to take away today from the protest, I'd like to introduce someone who's central to the anti-war movements. He's chair of the Stop the War Coalition, he's vice chair of CND, he's a fantastic campaigner against war and for peace and for justice. His name is Jeremy Corbyn MP. Give him a big round of applause. Chris, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. This historic site where the Chartists were gunned down looking for peace and freedom, where we are looking for peace and freedom from wars in this country and all around the world. And tomorrow in Cardiff, we'll have the Counter-NATO Summit, and it will have a huge range of international speakers, some of which you've heard from here today, from Russia, from the USA, from Germany, from all over the NATO countries. And why are we meeting? Because I think NATO needs to be taken to task. And this absurd spatchcock of a history that NATO has been treating us to over the last few weeks needs to be challenged. I just give you a few dates. 1948, NATO was founded in order to promote a Cold War with the Soviet Union. That resulted in the formation of the Warsaw Pact. That resulted in 60 years of a ludicrous arms race which cost us all billions of pounds and dollars and damaged the civil liberties of people all over the world. Come the end of the Cold War in 1990, that should have been the time for NATO to shut up shop, give up, go home, go away, and the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which had people on both sides of the then Iron Curtain coming together to promote a demilitarised, peaceful Europe. Sadly, that did not happen. It did not happen because the NATO leadership were very keen to appease their friends in the arms industry and expand their ideas and expand their operation. President Bill Clinton, for all his peace credentials in opposition to the Vietnam War, was the main driver behind NATO's eastward expansion to get Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovak Republic and others into NATO membership. They then wanted to take NATO even further east. And NATO needed a rationale, it needed a reason, it needed to present to the world that somehow or other it was a legitimate, valid organisation. So it usurped the UN to get involved in the Balkans War. It then got deeply involved in the Afghanistan War and is still involved in the Afghanistan War. Now, anyone with half a knowledge of any kind of geography will know that Afghanistan comes nowhere near to being part of the North Atlantic. Nowhere near whatsoever. So NATO needed to reinvent itself. And that happened at the Lisbon Conference in 2010, when in a 54-clause statement, NATO gave its statement of intent. On top of its ludicrous so-called Partners for Peace document, it decided it was time to go global. And so it decided that NATO was legitimately involved in any country that was involved in, for example, energy supplies to a member state. So not only could we be dragged into war because there is an attack on one member state, therefore an attack on all, an attack on the energy supplies of one member state then becomes a reason to go to war. And where is all the energy coming from in this world? Where is the most oil found in this world? Where is NATO now most deeply involved, other than all over Iraq, Iran, Libya, all over the Middle East? NATO is an engine for the delivery of oil to the oil companies and the main nations of this world. Make no illusions about that. And for those leaders that are attending the NATO summit this week, they would have received a letter from David Cameron a week ago. And being a person of sad disposition, I read this letter the other day. There's pages and pages and pages of it. But essentially, it boils down to this. David Cameron thinks that NATO defends freedom, democracy, human rights and civil liberties. It never felt like that if you were a Greek trade unionist fighting against a fascist junta, which was also a member of NATO. If you were a Turkish human rights activist in prison, or an anti-fascist campaigner in Portugal, it never felt like NATO was on your side. But Cameron is undeterred by mere details of history. He now proposes to invite a further 33 nations to become kind of associate members of NATO to give it global reach. And so this organisation, which in total already spends $1 trillion per year on arms expenditure, is now giving itself a global role and spending an awful lot of money on public relations exercises in the meantime. We're here to say we want to live in a different world. I give you a few home truths. Afghanistan has been a disaster, absolute disaster. It's cost billions, cost thousands of lives, and the people remain poor and the war grinds on. The expansion of NATO eastwards, to try and now include the Ukraine, has had a very obvious effect of promoting and provoking Russian militarism to do the same, straight into another Cold War, instead of a process of peace and recognition of people's rights, humanity and democracy. I want to live in a world where there aren't wars. And the victims of wars are, yes, the soldiers who die, yes, those of us that lose our civil liberties, but spare a thought for those hundreds of people dying trying to reach Lampedusa from Libya. They are victims of wars. They are fleeing from Syria. They're fleeing from the Palestinian conflict where the Israeli forces have been bombing. They're fleeing from all kinds of conflicts. What are we doing? Spending more and more money on more and more weapons of greater and greater levels of destruction in order to search for the next conflict and the next war. I would love to think that those leaders up there this week in Celtic Manor will be thinking about the inequality of this planet, the growth of wealth at the expense of the absolute poverty, the growth of the pandemics, of so many illnesses all around the world, the environmental disasters all around the world, the cuts in public expenditure and growing poverty in the richest countries of the world. But no, they're going to be saying to each member nation, step up to the plate, spend more on arms, spend more on defence in order that we'll be better protected in the future. The way to be protected in the future is not to keep half the world in poverty, it's not to steal resources from others, to look at the causes of war, lack of human rights, lack of resources, lack of wealth, lack of education, lack of clean water, all those things. Why don't we turn it around? Close down NATO, invest in people, invest in peace, invest in jobs, invest in hope, not create the intolerance and detestation that is led by wars and leads also to racism and intolerance within our own society. We're here today in the shadow of the Chartists who stood for something good. We're here today to speak up for peace, for justice all around the world. A world free of nuclear weapons. A world where we address the causes of war, not promote the next war. Thank you very much.